Welcome back to the Crypto Trends Podcast, where we cover all things cryptocurrency, blockchain, Web 3.0, and AI. I'm Robert Croak, and I'm joined virtually by my co-host, Armando Pantoja. Both of us and our amazing team are excited to bring you the best information, guidance, and strategies each and every Wednesday. So always remember to follow along and take notes and take action. So let's get into what is top of mind for everyone. Talking point number one. Why are the crypto markets crashing? I think it's pretty simple to understand that right now we have political unrest, we have uncertainty in the markets, we have interest rate concerns, we have tariff concerns, we have all of this. And I really want to take some time here with Armando and break it down for everyone because, when these things happen, and also February is generally one of the worst months of the year for the markets in general. So I wanted to take a minute to talk about it because Bitcoin's down 8%, Ethereum's down 9%, Doge is down a bunch. So for me, the big drivers behind all of this is exactly what we've been talking about: weak consumer confidence, the Bybit hack, political unrest, and also market manipulation. So Armando, walk our listeners through it and let's talk about it for a few minutes of what people can expect and why they shouldn't be panicking, because there is a lot of uncertainty right now. I think it's good long-term uncertainty, but there's definitely uncertainty. And let's walk the listeners through it.
Traditionally, people thought that Bitcoin was a hedge against inflation, or it's like an uncorrelated asset, but the crash proves otherwise. The Bybit hack scared a lot of people. We got the fear index, the highest it's been in a while. Bitcoin is still tied to macroeconomics, political unrest, the tariffs.
I think it's all business as usual. We see this all the time. The markets have been frothy for quite some time, especially the crypto markets. And this, to me, is just business as usual and actually provides a really good buying opportunity. NVIDIA crushed earnings. So good to see, because everyone has been waiting in the wings, nervous about what's going to happen with NVIDIA. And as we expected, the earnings report came out great. The numbers were great, and that should really push the markets forward and get some of that positivity back in big tech and AI and in cryptocurrency. So I'm super excited that NVIDIA came through for all of us and keeps crushing. We shall see how the markets react tomorrow. But I think it's business as usual for NVIDIA and the AI sector. There's just been some speculation. We saw it with Microsoft and a couple other companies where they're cutting back on their AI spending. And so that could send, ripple effects into the market where people are fearful. But I'm not too concerned. I am still going to hold NVIDIA, add to NVIDIA, along with Palantir, even through this pullback. So let's unpack the tariff situation a little bit. The U.S. and Trump have announced that they're set to impose these new tariffs on Canada and Mexico starting in March, with reciprocal tariffs expected to hit in April. And that has investors obviously worried about it economically and having there be a slowdown. But everyone needs to pause a little bit and understand that these tariffs are necessary. It's a good bargaining tool and a good negotiating tool for the U.S. and Trump, because we need to have tariffs be reciprocated from country to country and make sense financially for both sides. And I think it's a really smart play. It could cause some of the growth stocks to slow down and could cause crypto to have a little bit of a down period. But I think for the long term, it is really good for us to see this happening because, Trump came out guns blazing, and a lot of it may cause some pullback in the markets. But I always believe that it's temporary and it is good for the long term.
Yeah, so the tariffs, the uncertainty about the tariffs is really what's causing all the problems, is that there hasn't been any clear path on that yet. Trump says something, we're going to do tariffs on this guy, we're going to do tariffs on this country. And then nothing happens or something happens. And then the uncertainty is really what's causing the market to not be able to react one way or another. Uncertainty, people just quit, give up, and they stop investing altogether. So eventually over the next few months, as people get used or accommodated to the new administration, I think we'll see less volatility in the market.
Yeah, I agree. And I think this volatility is actually good because so much is getting done. And with this pro-crypto government we have right now, I think we're going to see a lot of things get fast-tracked. And sometimes you have to wreck things to put them back together. And I'm okay with that because it's giving us some really good buying opportunities. So I guess let's talk about my next question here. And was this just a speculative pop and it's now fading? Because the recent run in crypto started back in November, right after the election. But let's be honest, we haven't actually seen any of these regulatory breakthroughs that people are expecting. We see a lot of good news and a lot of movement, but we haven't seen any breakthroughs yet. And on top of that, the SEC didn't fully legalize crypto or roll out any sweeping regulatory changes yet. And while we did see some softening in the enforcement, there's no fundamental reason Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of the markets have pulled back other than fear and uncertainty, which we talk about all the time. And I wish people would not panic. But at the very least, with this pullback, I think it's a great buying opportunity for all the projects we know and love and are investing in long term.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's what I was telling people yesterday. I said, look, you wanted to get a XRP at under $2 or close to $2. You wanted to get Bitcoin at under 100. This may be your last chance, right? The only time people panic when something goes on discount is in stocks and equities and crypto. If it came out tomorrow that, let's say, Xbox was going out of business and they said the Xboxes were going to be half priced, they would be gone in an hour. If some negative news hits cryptocurrency or stocks and then things start to go down, people panic and they actually sell. That's the only time that people panic. And I believe it's an underlying disbelief or misunderstanding of the market. People that panic really didn't believe in the market in the first place. So they feel like when it's dropping, the jig is up. So I gotta get rid of everything. They didn't believe in it in the first place. Because if you believe in it, there's no way you would panic sell. So I think it's a great opportunity for people who may have missed some of the lower prices of a lot of cryptocurrencies, even stocks.
Yeah, I've had quite a few people in the last week or two say to me, "Hey, man, I'm thinking I'm going to get out of NVIDIA and Palantir. I'm losing money." And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Didn't you buy back in 2022 and 23? Well, yeah. I'm like, okay, so you're up 350%. Now you're down 20% and you're losing money. I say, well,
People see it like that.
you don't get this game at all. But yeah, I agree. I think that as blockchain technology gets more and more adopted, as we get through this first shaky 90 days of the Trump administration and everything that they're doing, I think we will see a ton of opportunity and upside potential in the markets because right now there's just so much uncertainty that I think people are just panicking a little bit too much. And, you got to look at as the utility grows and grows. We see it all the time. You look at Proppy right now, they're changing the game in real estate with fractional ownership and putting, deeds on chain and all of that. And right before people's eyes, the changes are happening. But people, just like you said, they're so unsure of what they're going to do that they make these knee jerk reactions. So let's talk a little bit about what happened with the Bybit hack and should we be worried because so many people have been talking about that, $1.4 billion hack in ETH related tokens, and this was something that came out of nowhere and people have been really worried about it. So walk our listeners through, what do you think about this? Do you have concerns about platforms or issues with public.com or Coinbase or Uphold or any of the platforms? Or do you think it's fine and that this was just some one-off random hack?
Some of the best hackers in the world did it. The North Korean hackers, which are a well-funded team that works alongside the military. So it is, I believe, the largest crypto hack we've ever seen. Bybit came out and said, look, we're going to absorb the losses. We're going to make everybody right. And the fact that they can do that is pretty impressive. That's a lot of money just to say, okay, we're okay. But the question is that how did it happen, right? They use multi-sig wallets, which are supposed to be the most secure type of wallet known to man. So the fact that they could drain this much Ethereum may have people start questioning, are all exchanges maybe insecure? But remember, North Korea has been stealing a lot of crypto over the years to fund their nuclear weapons program. So we talk about cybersecurity. It's not just about protected funds anymore. It's about stopping maybe a rogue regime from obtaining nuclear weapons. It's starting to get important. This is worldwide economics, worldwide politics now. So it's a big stage now for cryptocurrency. Bank of America even just announced that they're going to offer a stable coin, right? And that's who's really making money in crypto right now. It's happening behind the scenes, and they usually come up with this news when the market's down. The biggest disruptor in blockchain is not the assets and the meme coins, it's fiat based stable coins that are cheaper and easier to use than traditional banking. If blockchain technology gets adopted, those are the coins, or those are the stable coins are really going to be how value is transferred back and forth. Bitcoin will be more of a store of value. Ethereum will be like lubricant or oil to a system. Other coins will have different utilities, but I believe that the stable coins will be how value gets transferred all over the world. I think the Bank of America and a lot of other banks are seeing the potential of this.
Yeah, we also saw that Citadel is getting involved. Ken Griffin, one of the biggest out there. And I think it's really smart because people were asking me over the past few days, why would they get involved? And that's because they see the opportunity to provide liquidity in these markets. And that goes hand in hand with the adoption of stablecoins because a lot of people don't realize stablecoins are the lifeblood of making it easy for people to be able to use, purchase, and trade in cryptocurrencies among multiple platforms. So I think this is all great news, but all everyone wants to focus on is why is the market crashing? It drives me nuts because they're not able to separate emotionally from all the good news that's right in front of them and then the clickbait headlines and the downturn in the market to be able to think of it long term. So I think it's very important. I think that Bank of America's announcement is huge news, but also very, very, lightly covered was the Citadel announcement that they're going to be getting involved to offer liquidity. And I think it's a really smart play by Ken Griffin and his team. So, Armando, let's talk through, all emotions aside, getting rid of the bad, headlines and, the downturn in the market. I mean, I'm down hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars in crypto if I were to look at it that way. So for me, I don't care what the day-to-day prices are. I know you don't either. But let's talk people through what's next. What's going to push momentum higher? What are we going to see in the U.S. in the coming months as far as adoption and getting the SEC in line, getting the XRP case to be fully dropped, the appeal, all of that? Where do you think we go next to see that next big push in crypto and get through this negativity and all of this, kind of fear and
Yeah,
sentiment?
I think people just need to stay patient. The market is just shaking out weak hands. If you've been listening to us, you know what's coming next. But I think that we may go through maybe 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even the whole rest of the month of February and into March with high volatility and negativity and fear. I mean, that's just, we're at the first quarter of the year. Like we said before, first quarter of the year is normally not very good. January normally is horrible. And then we have to come out of that hole in February and March. Normally stocks, crypto, whatever, start to do well in the second, third quarter. So, we just have to wait and see what happens. I think that this is gonna shake the market up a little bit. I think we're gonna be down or like stagnant for a couple of weeks, maybe even 3, maybe not. Maybe a catalyst will come out. Trump can announce the Bitcoin strategic reserve, anything over the next few weeks, and may pull us out of this hole. But I just tell people to stay patient. Don't be one of the weekends that sells too quickly. Just pay attention, listen, and execute.
I agree 100%. I think that Trump and Elon Musk and their entire camp came out guns blazing. It's got everyone in an uproar. They're telling people that if they don't respond to an email, they're going to fire tens of thousands of people because they're trying to figure out, through Doge, who's doing what. I think there's just so much uncertainty right now that everyone runs for the hills and gets scared. And that is the exact wrong time to do so. People should really be digging in, reading between the lines. And something I've been saying a lot lately is think deeper.
Right.
Think deeper, look deeper, and understand that you can't get shaken out by these news cycles. Because at the end of the day, the real money is made in the tougher times and being able to buy at these discounts and dollar cost average correctly. So I love it. We appreciate you guys stopping by each and every week. Make sure you subscribe, drop a comment, follow us on Instagram at Crypto Trends Podcast, share the podcast, and just really, stay focused, stay patient, and you'll find your way to what works for you in the crypto markets, stock markets, and beyond. Thank you all for joining.